Hey, this is Mrs. Gervasio here with Monday's homework. Okay, be sure to watch and re-watch the tutorial, pause for the practice problems, and of course come back and check and see how you did. Complete the homework at the end of the tutorial, and of course show all of your work.
In this video, we're going to look at how we can use a half-circle protractor to measure angles and draw angles. And we can use a full-circle protractor to measure and draw angles, but another tool that we can use is the half-circle protractor to measure angles. Like the full-circle protractor, half-circle protractors have a center and a zero line. But unlike full-circle protractors, half-circle protractors have two different scales. One scale here with 0 on the outside. Along this outside scale, we go from 0 to 180 degrees from left to right. But there's another scale over here on the right-hand side, which has 0 on the inside scale. This moves 0 to 180 degrees, moving right to left. Half-circle protractor, we remember that we put the center of the protractor on the vertex of our angle, and we line up. So again, here's the center of our protractor. It's on the vertex, and we ensure that we have the 0 on the starting line of our angle. We can adjust it here, and now we can be set to measure our angle. This may be the most important step. We need to take a look at the 0, which is touching the starting line, and we see that it's the scale on the outside of the protractor. So we're using all of the numbers, all of the measures on the outside of the protractor to give us our measure of 160 degrees. We would not want to make the mistake of using the wrong scale. Let's take a look at another example. Again, we put the center on our vertex and clap our hands. Put the center on the vertex, clap your hands. Put the center on the vertex and 0 on the starting side. Put the center on the vertex, clap your hands. Again, the most important step when we use a half-circle protractor is making sure that we use the correct scale. And here we realize that the 0 that we're using is actually the bottom or the inside scale. So we use the inside track or inside scale worth of measures to measure our angle. And we see that this angle is 120 degrees. Let's take a look at 3 more examples. Here we're asked to write whether each angle is acute or obtuse. And remember that acute is any angle that is less than 90 degrees but greater than 0. And obtuse is anything that is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180. So we take a look at our first example. We know that our first example seems definitely smaller than a right angle or square corner, so we say that it is acute. But now let's go ahead and measure it. So we'll put the center on our vertex, and we'll line up one of the zeros. Pay special attention to which scale we're using, the outside scale or the inside scale. And we see that our 0 is on the outside scale, so we'll use the outside scale and measures. We definitely won't use these inside ones. We wouldn't say that this angle is 125 degrees. No, we know it's acute, so it cannot be 125 degrees. So we're going to continue to make sure that we use the outside track of numbers because we're using the 0 on the outside scale. So we see that this is about 56. It might be 55 or 56. Let's see what we have. 55. Good. If we put 56, that might be okay. Mr. Eck will probably give you a break there. Let's take a look at another example. So again, we're going to put the center of our protractor on our vertex. We're going to line up a 0 with our starting side, and we'll pay special attention to which scale we use, the outside or the inside scale. We find our 0, and we find that our 0 is on the inside scale here. So we're going to use the inside measures, and we find that this angle passes just about through 40 degrees. And we knew even before looking at this that this angle was smaller than 90 degrees, so we know that it's acute. And we can say that the measure of angle COR is about 40 degrees. Let's finish this up by measuring this last angle. So we know that this angle is much larger than a right angle. It's larger than 90 degrees. It's smaller, though, than a straight angle, which is 180. So this is obviously obtuse. But let's go ahead and measure this angle. And it's important that we use the half-circle protractor correctly. I'm going to go ahead and line this up with our center on our vertex and see, uh-oh, this one might be hard to measure. We have to rotate our half-circle protractor in a way that allows us to get to a reading of both sides. Again, even here we'll be rotating it in an incorrect way. We can't get a complete measure of the angle. So we have to keep rotating and make sure that we have 0 at the center, and we've got 0 on one of our vertex. We've got our center on the vertex and 0 on our starting side. And we ask, so there's our center at the vertex, and we take a look. We've got 0 at the starting side, but which scale will we use? Will we use the inside scale or the outside scale? We take a look and we see that our 0 is here on the inside, so we're going to use our inside scale and follow it all the way until we reach our finishing side. And we see our finishing side. We will not use the number on the outside since we're using the inside scale. And we see that our angle is about 140 degrees. We can also draw angles with a half-circle protractor.
Okay, and here's the part of the homework that you need to actually bring into class tomorrow. Oh, that's okay. It's not very many problems at all. Okay, and tonight's homework, you need to look at each of these protractors and determine the degree of the angles. So you need to look at this protractor, this first one, and write down what this angle is right here. And for this protractor over here, you need to figure out what that angle is. And for this protractor right here, you need to figure out what that angle is. And for
this one, we need to find out what that protractor is.
Well, what that angle is.
Angle.
Yep.
Whatever.
Because the actual, this right here, that shape, that object, that tool is actually the protractor. So they're figuring out what the angle is right here.
How come they're all different sizes?
Well, because we all need practice, okay? An awesome job drawing the pictures.
Thank you.
Okay, and you have 2 more to do, so you need to go ahead and figure out what the angle, what the degree, what that measurement is, that angle is.
And this one as well. I hope I didn't do that wrong.
Nope, it's perfect. And there you have it. There was your homework for tonight. Any problems, make sure to talk to me tomorrow. All right? That's it. I hope you have a wonderful evening.
Bye-bye.